Hey there, it's Melanie from Chasing Fi, and today I want to talk a little bit about 5 financial goals that we have for 2022. 2021 has been great for reshaping our financial future. I've learned so much about finances and the economic systems in the United States, streams of income, and different assets that help build lasting wealth. I am forever thankful to the wonderful YouTube creators who take the time to share their knowledge. Graham Stephan, Minority Mindset, Our Rich Journey, and Mark J. Kohler are some of my favorites. And those creators have helped educate me in so many ways. Of course, I double check the information, and so far everything checks out. So thank you to those kind souls who are sharing their financial knowledge on YouTube. It truly has changed our life. As my husband and I choose new paths in our financial journey and take on additional knowledge, everything seems to change pretty rapidly. Even so, I think it's a good idea to have goals because it forces you to pay attention to things you want to achieve. You can always change your mind later and regroup. Nothing is set in stone, but here are the things we'd like to accomplish in our financial lives in 2022. Number 1, prioritize buying real estate. That means we will start off the year with a new budget that emphasizes saving for trips to see potential real estate properties that we want to buy and to make down payments once we have located a good deal. We'll still be building up our ally.com savings account, even though at this point, because interest rates are so low, we're not gaining that much interest on it, but it's more than what we would have in a regular savings account. We also will be making the most of our different streams of income. At this point, we're able to live on about half of my husband's salary. Once my new job starts in March, we'll have 2 streams of income dedicated to our real estate business. We'll have the income from our current rental and the income from my new job. And those 2 streams of income, along with what we already have saved, will fund the real estate business in 2022. The next thing that I am prioritizing for our financial goals in 2022 is having organized business plans for both of our businesses. On the surface, business plans might not sound like a thing that you'd include in financial goals, but if you have a business without a plan, you lose money. Trust me, I know this. My writing business hasn't been as organized as I'd like it to be, and even though I made a decent amount of money from it in 2021, I could be doing so much better if I was more organized. At this point, I'm making about what I was making as a school teacher. And I mean, that's not terrible. Now, mind you, I wasn't making much because I was working at a public charter school in Utah, but still, I'm making that much from my writing. Now, imagine what I could make if I was organized and had a business plan. So I'm pulling in the reins. Before December 31st, my business plan for my writing business will be complete. I will know how many books I'll write in 2022, how many promotions I plan on conducting, and my writing schedule. This is so important. I know this for a fact because in 2021, I started off with a daily writing schedule that began at 6 a.m. and ran until 3 p.m. This was too much. My muse takes some days off here and there, and in 2022, I'm taking the pressure off of my creativity and I'm going to come up with a reasonable schedule that allows me to nurture my writing. The real estate business plan is a little more complicated because this is a new endeavor for us. I've been watching Mark J. Kohler's channel, which is great, by the way, and I think we're going to schedule an appointment with him in the new year. He's a lawyer and a CPA, and he talks about making sure that you set up your LLC properly. I set up an LLC for my writing business. I'm sure I probably made a few mistakes that he talks about in there, so probably we'll see if we can get his firm to fix that as well. But we are going to write a business plan for our rental business and follow it, but we won't officially set up the LLC for the real estate business until after we get to the point where we are buying our second property. Why are we waiting? Well, the first property has been in a trust for 8 years, so there's no rush to do anything with it. It's been there and it's not going anywhere, so we're just going to wait until we get to the point where we are getting ready to secure the contract for the second rental property, and then we will set up the business plan officially and form the LLC. Number three, I am keeping my part time job in 2022. Now, that seem a little odd because I just got a new job that I told you about, my ideal job. But the reason that I'm keeping the part time teaching assistant job is because I will use that to max out my 401k, and I only work 24 hours there. Well, I only have to work 24 hours there. Currently, I'm working 28, but I only have to work 24 hours. So that leaves plenty of time for my new job to fit nicely under the 40-hour mark. In fact, I think the new job will really only take up about 10 hours a week. I will lecture for 3 hours a week, and the rest of the time will be spent grading and responding to students online. The good news, actually, the great news, is that the curriculum is provided for me. And while the university allows instructors to create their own curriculum, I'm going to stick with what they have in place. In time, I might want to change something, but I've taught some of the material before in other jobs, so the resources are already in place. I have materials that I can use, and that will reduce the amount of prep time needed. This is the first job that I've had in education where there is a curriculum that is provided for me. So I am super excited. Like I said in my previous video, this job is the best case scenario for my life. In addition to that, keeping this extra stream of income, which is pretty easy. Actually, we just did a little revision on the expectations of the job, and it's going to become even easier, which is great. But keeping this will move us that much closer to financial independence, and that's our main goal. So we will be maxing out our IRAs. We have 3 between the two of us, 2 Roths and 1 traditional. We can make contributions for 2021 up until April 2022, I believe. So we're going to do that. We'll load up the traditional IRA that I have under my name. My husband will be able to load up his Roth. Disclaimer here, these accounts are separate because we both set them up when we were single, long before we ever knew each other. I'm including that to ward off any comments about how my husband and I are living separate lives or our roommates or whatever other weird comments might surface. It's just that we got married after we had established things on our own, and to be honest, merging all that stuff is just, it's kind of crazy. So you just put each other as the beneficiary and you're fine. I mean, do you really need to go through all, I don't even know how you would do it to add someone on, but whatever. I'm sure it's doable, but we just haven't gone to that trouble. Just make your spouse the beneficiary and move on. And then there is the teacher loan forgiveness program. I have applied for that, and even though it's not the full forgiveness program that is offered through the public service loan forgiveness program, I can get some of my student loans excused because I did teach for 5 years. And even though it probably won't be a ton of money, it'll probably be $5,000 or something like that. I'll take it. You know, it was something that was part of the reason why I was teaching, and I was told I was not eligible. But now things have changed because student loan service lenders are they're under the microscope. They were just denying people just to deny them. So things have changed a little bit. So I will find out in early, I'm hoping to 2022, whether or not I will receive that. And once I do, this stream of income that I am keeping, the teacher assistant position, will be used to pay off the remainder of the student loan. And then that will be a debt that is out of my life forever. And I can't wait for that day. The 4th thing on my list is all trips will be Business trips. No matter where we go in 2022, we will be incorporating our businesses. Between book ideas and scouting out properties, making sure that we have something to do with our businesses going on when we're traveling will be easy. For example, we're taking a trip to Michigan in July. And since several of the books in my mystery series take place there, I will do research for the 8th book in the series while we're there. Our real estate journeys will take us around the Midwest and possibly the South. This will be great because I have family and friends in those places. We can visit, but also scout out real estate and hopefully make a few purchases. Obviously, if you are taking business trips and you want to, include some tax deductions on there, you need to talk to your accountant or lawyer or whoever your tax professional is. And we will definitely be doing that. Like I said, next year we plan on making an appointment with Mark J. Kohler's firm and talk to the lawyer and the accountant about what we should be doing to make sure that that holds up when we file our taxes. So if you're planning on doing that, definitely, I'm not just saying that we're going to take business trips and then we're just going to write everything off. Before we do any of that, we will be talking to tax professionals. The 5th thing on the list is to purchase 4 real estate properties before the end of 2022. Realistically, there is nothing standing in our way because, we have money saved up. And in addition to that, we have streams of income that we just are saving at this point. Like the stream of income for my business, I do invest most of that back in the business, but I take a small salary. In 2022, we will have the salary from my new job, which I will just be dedicating to the rentals. And then we'll have the money from our rental property that we already have that will just be dedicated to the fund that we will use to buy 4 real estate properties before the end of 2022. This is a new endeavor for us, obviously. The first rental property is something that my husband inherited, so we have not gone out and picked a rental property yet to buy. But with multiple streams of income and the areas that we're interested in, if we do the research and we go there and we see something that we like, we just have to pull the trigger on some of the homes we find. We want to be careful because we most likely will be buying properties out of state. I'm sure you can imagine that out-of-state properties can become nightmares if you end up in the wrong neighborhood or if the properties are not in good shape. But I think the odds are in our favor that we are going to find great cash flowing deals. We just have to be patient because right now we are very eager. We want some rentals and it's very tempting. You see a house come on the market and you're like, oh, that's in our price range. Oh, looks good. Let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Let's contact the agent. But in reality, you always want to take a step back. This is going to be something that we plan on keeping in our portfolio for, quite a long time if we can. We don't really plan on buying houses and selling them in, a few years after we purchase them. So we really want this to be an investment that we can hold on to. So we're going to take our time. So those are 5 of the goals we have for 2022. As always, things can change at a moment's notice, but it's nice to have some plans moving forward. I'm so excited for next year. I think it will completely change the trajectory of our lives. And by December 2022, we will be 12 months closer to financial independence. Do you have any financial goals for 2022? Let me know in the comments. And in the meantime, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.